Welcome to the program. We appreciate you tuning in. James Comey, the former FBI director, testified for nearly 3 hours on Thursday. What did we learn? John Brummett with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette is here to help us provide a little context to that question right there. Good to see you.
Good to be here.
We did learn, I think, one of the big takeaways is that James Comey does not trust Donald Trump. Therefore, he kept some pretty detailed memos. What else did we learn on that testimony on Thursday?
Well, the thing that I did the double take on is when Comey just casually mentioned, oh, by the way, I woke up in the middle of the night and I thought I should leak my memo through this law professor friend at Columbia to the New York Times. He essentially said that big story that quoted my memo, I arranged for that myself because he wanted to protect himself against the false statements by Trump. He also thought that would facilitate the appointment of a special counsel, which it did. And of course, we also learned, even though some people said they knew it before, that Loretta Lynch, the Obama Attorney General, had told him not to call the investigation of Hillary Clinton's emails an investigation but an email, and therefore he didn't
call it a matter.
A matter.
Yeah.
And he didn't trust her at all. So what we learned is that Comey appeared, in my view, to be fortifying his credibility in his charges against Trump by telling other things that were unfavorable to others and perhaps favorable to Trump. Of course, that didn't stop Trump and his people from taking the parts they liked and saying, aha,
total vindication.
And ignoring or denying the other things.
Yeah. So Republicans forcefully defend Donald Trump. We saw several on the committee, including, I think, Tom Cotton and Marco Rubio.
You thought Tom Cotton was forcefully defending? Yeah.
I
thought he was attacking the press, the New York Times.
But in a way to kind of undermine the credibility of the reports that have been coming out about negative things on Trump. I thought that was a little bit of what he was trying to get at when he did that. But Marco Rubio forcefully defending Trump too. Democrats obviously on the attack. Was it a draw in the grand scheme of things? Did the needle move one way or the other on this public opinion?
No. No, it was a draw, in that people went into it watching with preconceived notions, and everybody was able to protect their preconceived notions, even if in their hearts they might know better. I know how all this is going to turn out.
How is all this going to turn out?
The Russians cyber meddled in our election in a horrible way, but we need to do something about that, but we probably lack the will to do it. Trump did not collude with the Russians. He's not really smart enough to collude. He's just kind of a goofy guy who liked their tweets and likes Putin. He did not criminally collude. He did, in fact, by taking Comey aside and asking him to back off Flynn, and then eventually firing Comey, and then telling the Russians, hey, it'll be easier for us now to go. That's a classic definition of obstruction of justice, but Mueller may call it that, or he may say, well, the intent is not quite that in his report. Either way, the House Republicans under Paul Ryan are all Trump apologists who are not going to impeach him. So that's where we are.
That's what's going to happen.
That's what's going to happen. So, I mean, I can save us a lot of time. That's what's going to happen.
Forget all the classified briefings and all of the investigation.
The big story, well, the two, that the president was so, and I don't think Trump knew he was obstructing justice. I think the defense that Trump doesn't understand anything about his job is a strong one and a powerful one. But that the Russians interfered and potentially affected the outcome. And that's enormous. The guy, Clapper's down in Australia, saying this is bigger than Watergate. It is. But I don't know, one, what we're going to do about it when we admit that it happened and talk about the extent to which it happened, or two, if Trump's base wants to. I think if you told Trump's base, do you like the Russians better or do you like American Democrats better, they might pick the Russians. So I just don't know what if anything will come of all this.
All right. John Brummett with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Good stuff as always. Thanks for the analysis.
Well, it's what I think. That's what you get.
All
right.
We got more to come right after this word from our sponsor. Stick around.
Arkansas Electric Cooperative Corporation provides electric energy across 2/3 of Arkansas. This is an exciting time in our energy history, with incredible progress being made in renewable energy and storage technologies. As our energy portfolio continues to diversify, we'll maintain an all-the-above strategy to provide reliable and affordable electricity. Ever since the first light bulbs were placed in our members' homes, the electric cooperatives have been the solutions provider for our members, and we want to continue that well into the future.
Each day, the promise of our nation begins again. Arkansas and America moving forward. I help make that promise a reality. It's not for everyone, but people everywhere depend on us.
Oh, I love you too, sweetie.
Trucking delivers, or everything stops. And that's what drives me.
I did.
And welcome back to Talk Business and Politics. I'm with John Brummett of the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Let's turn our attention to some things happening in the state of Arkansas that I find pretty intriguing. Is we have had a number of Democratic congressional candidates, at least potential Democratic congressional candidates, coming out of the woodwork. Joshua Mahoney in the third was the first one kind of out of the gate. We've seen Paul Spencer in the second form an exploratory committee, and we've got Jim Huff over in the first, who's got some political legacy,
Right.
And it at least looks good on paper right there.
Has a
Why
good
are we
resume.
seeing all this Democratic activity? It's a simple question that I know the answer to, but I want a little more insightful answer.
Well,
from you.
since it's so simple, I hope I don't struggle with it. It's two things. Trump's travails at present are a drag on the Republicans potentially for the midterm, drag on them generally. Their president is not getting anything accomplished. His approval ratings are in the mid-30s. That has a sort of an effect on the entire party and the prospects in a midterm. So the Democrats smell a little bit of blood, even in a place like Arkansas, where you wouldn't think that they would have a chance. But beyond that, I think the bigger reason, and the bigger issue by the time we vote, because this Trump thing is going to be settled and he'll either emerge unscathed or be gone. And I think he will emerge unscathed. The bigger issue is health care reform. I do not believe the Senate is going to be able to come up with a solution. I don't believe they're going to pass a repeal and replace bill.
Yeah.
I believe what they're going to end up doing, and I'm big on predicting the future right now, they're going to claim victory by saying we're going to pass some legislation to authorize further waivers so that Health and Human Services Secretary Price can let states do what they want to with their Medicaid and with their exchanges. And they're going to say that's a victory. The Republican base will not be inspired by that. That will not be a repeal in place. The Democratic base will be inspired by that because in some states, the mean ones, like Arkansas, could kick a lot of people off Medicaid, right, and could take people with pre-existing conditions and put them into an ancillary pool that's insufficient to give them the coverage that they need. So all the emotion would be on the Democratic side on that issue. Would that be enough for Paul Spencer to defeat French Hill in the 2nd District? I don't know. And in the 1st District, you've got this fellow, what's his name?
Jim Huff.
Got an excellent resume. And Josh Mahoney in the Northwest, where the things are changing up there. That invisible movement is strong up there. The Democratic Party is strengthening up there. But it is the reason that you're seeing Democrats didn't run, they only ran one in the 4, and not particularly seriously. This, it's more because of the people and their need for health care than the person Trump, I think.
Yeah. All right. So we will keep an eye on all of that. It'll be interesting.
I guess so.
Don't you think? You think they got to?
I think the second.
The stars have to align, I guess. For
they do.
Democrats,
The stars have to align.
The numbers are still in the
overwhelming.
Republican favor, and we have seen Arkansans vote against their interest in electing some folks that advocate a certain platform versus another party candidate that advocates a different platform.
The best prospect would appear to be in the 2nd District because of Pulaski County. We always say that, and then Saline and Faulkner and White come in and obliterate the Democratic margin in Pulaski County. But a guy like Paul Spencer, who has a history of activism on like a cause, he's a big anti-Citizens United, pro-ethics in government, get big money. A Democrat with a message and a persona of reform who refreshes people, that's what Vic Snyder did when he won that district. So it is possible that kind of candidate could actually do pretty well. But still, I'm not remotely predicting any change in our congressional seating.
But it's nice to see the spark of life, though.
Well, there's a spark of life and competition, even for the simple purpose of loyal opposition. And even if, let's say, the Democrats run against French Hill in the 2nd and don't quite beat him, it's conceivable they could scare him enough that his allegiance to some of the things that are happening might change a
Yeah.
little. So that's how the process works. But yeah, we're going to have a more interesting 2018 election on the congressional level than we have had in a while.
All right, John Brummett with the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. You can read him Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays in the paper. You can read him online on Wednesdays. You can really catch those 3 daily columns
Yeah.
online as well.
And you can read them over and over on other days if you didn't think you got it all. Read it.
All right, thank you very much.
You bet.
That's all for our program. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.